Jill on the mic, it's about to get real. Keep it live, that's right. From Pennsylvania to across the globe, it's time for the Steelers All-Star Show.
Welcome to the Steelers by the Lake podcast. My name is James Strong, joined once again by two of my co-hosts, Cody Tanner and Jill. Pittsburgh daughter Jill?
Pittsburgh daughter Jill? She's kind of famous Jill.
If you follow Pittsburgh Dad, check it out. You might just see our co-host Jill on his latest TikTok from yesterday.
Smiling and everything. I'm glad I was there at that moment, man. That was just, it was perfect timing. The way I just walked up and there was like a small crowd and I'm like, guys, that's Pittsburgh Dad. Walked my way through. But he was super nice. Very fun to interact with. So shout out Pittsburgh Dad. He did a great job yesterday down at the point. So crazy draft experiences. Cody, how was your overall draft experience?
It was hot. There was a lot of people, but it was enjoyable. There was a lot of cool things to do. This is actually, if I can get this pulled up here, this is the map of the entire stadium and all the things going on. There were all the on the field activities. This is a little blurry. I apologize. It was the best image I could find and to go live in, but there was so much happening. And this was just the stadium. This wasn't including Point Park, which was where you ran. I think that was where you ran into Pittsburgh Dad, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was just stuff to do everywhere. If you guys are nearby, even a 2-hour drive, I mean, go and get down there, take a look. The Red Line train is available. It takes you to and from certain places. We parked all the way by PPG Arena. We just got home literally 20 minutes ago. So it was an amazing time. It was a very fun time. I have your image here somewhere, Jill. I didn't title it, unfortunately, so I'm looking for that.
I have to figure it out.
But your Pittsburgh Dad image, and I can't find it for some reason. But
Check
a lot of cool
over
Instagram. But yeah, and so we already chatted about that briefly, and I'll share it here before we get to talk about the. No, I won't. It's not here either. I don't know where everything's saved. But yeah, you got to meet Pittsburgh Dad. That was awesome. I got to get autographs from both Will Howard and Alex Highsmith on a terrible towel and a hat. The hat's not with me right now, but this is the draft towel that I got from Grove City Outlet Malls. It was a fun time. It was a very fun time. I got a freaking playing card of myself made. That's not real. It says I'm a first rounder, but no, it was awesome. James, how was your experience hosting, as you always do every single year, hosting the draft and watching the mayhem kind of happened towards the time we picked?
Oh, it was a good time, man. It's fun. You know, I feel like this year I'm way more educated in the process than I've been in previous years. So, like, I just was, as it got closer and closer, you're like, okay, here's a couple guys that I know Pittsburgh would like, or we would like Pittsburgh to like. And whether or not they go that direction, you don't know until the very last second. So, I guess the big story here before we even talk about the actual pick is what happened moments before, right? So we now know that the Steelers were on the phone with Mekhi Lemon, the wide receiver from USC, and they were telling him, hey, we're about to pick you and make you a Pittsburgh Steelers. And then the Philadelphia Eagles traded with division rivals Dallas Cowboys to one pick in front of us, who they were on the board at the time, gave them 2 4th-round picks and their 1st-round pick to move up and swoop in front of us and draft Mekhi Lemon. Knowing that, how do you guys feel about that? What's your reaction to knowing that Pittsburgh was ready to draft Mekhi Lemon before eventually turning in the card for Maxi Anachor?
Well, we've talked about we personally didn't want a wide receiver in the 1st round because there is good depth, and I keep thinking how right now we're looking for wide receiver 3. And so drafting in the 1st round for a wide receiver, I think would have had Pittsburgh itself going crazy. I think the atmosphere would have been electric if that is the pick that we would have put in. But for production and for the actual season and the longevity of the team, I'm just not sure. I would have liked the pick because he is incredibly great with football. You watch his tape, there is no denying that he is a talented guy. But we've talked so many times about how we need quality players in different positions. Yes, we need wide receiver 3, but we also need secondary post 2027. We're looking at guard and tackle now, I guess. So Markel Bell, I think, is out the window. But yeah, so it just was interesting that we were actually going to go wide receiver because I don't know. When's the last time we picked wide receiver in the first round? I mean, it's been many moons ago.
Troy Edwards, maybe?
Maybe. Like, I couldn't even
A long
tell
time
you when
ago.
the last time that was. So I was like, that must have been like their guy. They were set on that. But I'm now mad with Philly because I just don't like having them swoop in and steal somebody we wanted.
It was Santonio. Was Santonio a first rounder?
So Chase Claypool was the last time we drafted a wide receiver first, but it was in the second round because we didn't have a first round pick that year. Outside of that, the last time we drafted a wide receiver in the first, you're thinking Santonio. That would make sense. He was, Santonio Holmes back in 2006, and he went on to be a Super Bowl MVP.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
So 20 years ago.
Yeah, and that I think kind of speaks to how well Pittsburgh has drafted in the second, third round with these wide receivers. You know, we were just talking about a couple of names there, and just year after year, they're landing on these second and third round dudes, so they didn't have to go to the first round for a wide receiver. But more recently hasn't been the case. So, Cody, what do you feel about this? Were you disappointed that we didn't get Mekhi Lemon after learning that they were ready to draft him?
No, not at all. Actually, I wasn't on the Mekhi Lemon train. I understand the athlete. I understand the player that he was, and even when you watch his reaction to on stage, he comes off as a guy that might turn into having issues that we had with Antonio Brown, issues that we had with George Pickens. You know, he's very high on himself, which is fine, and it's good. It's good to be that way. But I almost want to say he comes off as the potential diva type. You know, he's acting this way right now, technically without money. What is getting a big paycheck going to do to him and do to his mentality? And how is he going to feel if Aaron's not passing the ball, if Aaron comes back? How is he going to treat Will Howard if Will Howard's the guy not getting in the ball? So I'm looking for more of a guy in the wide receiver room, and we've talked about it all with the mock draft. I'm looking for a guy that's going to come in and be a team player. And I'm not saying that wasn't going to be him, but I'm somewhat relieved we didn't get him in that situation. That was not a guy on my radar. First of all, we didn't think he would fall that far. Secondly, just not a guy there. The only concern I have with the pick we wound up going with was the fact that there was still Dylan Thieneman on the board, and that was a guy that we all were very, very high on. And he wound up going later on, I think, to the Bears. So
yes,
I actually thought when the Eagles traded up, I was like, well, they lost their one white safety, they're going to go get another one. And that was actually not what happened. So sucks to see Thieneman there, and then he's gone.
Yes. Well, and it's funny. My brother's a Carolina Panther fan, and they also need some safety help. And when they drafted a tackle, my brother was like, "What?" Be tackling, but then I was like, "Maybe we'll get him," and then we didn't. But it's okay because our draft pick is still pretty good for what He's what? One of your guys, right, James?
One of my guys, and I'll tell you, when I saw this whole thing and how it went down, my reaction was very simple.
Love.
A celebratory reaction. Just an energy drink. Don't cancel us. It's not a beer. But to me, Mekhi Lemon on the field was unquestionable. Like an awesome athlete, great after the catch. Great battling for the catch, just an incredible wide receiver. But watching his interviews terrified me because I've never seen a professional athlete, and I've watched hundreds, maybe thousands of these interviews of people at the combine, at the draft, whoever it is. And twice in a matter of 2 months now, we saw him in his biggest interviews of his life, sitting there behind the podium, just swaying back and forth while he's talking. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just who he is. Maybe that's his personality. Maybe that's nothing to be worried about. But it looked weird to me, man. It looked real weird. And it worried me because of the history that Pittsburgh has had since Antonio Brown with these guys coming in and acting normal. And then the next thing you know, their just whole personality changes and they're too big for the team and they don't want to block for the running back when he's running and they don't want to run their route because the ball's getting thrown to somebody else. And they're not the priority on the play, so they're not going to run the route. I don't want any of that crap, man.
Yeah.
So if that's my warning sign, is that he's sitting behind the podium and swinging back and forth and can't even stand still that's enough for me to be scared and be no way. But as much as I was no way there, man, Maxi Anachor, this is one of the dudes that once you saw a little bit of tape on this guy, he's just incredible. For a guy that's only played football for 2 years, his footwork and hand placement is incredible. Just he shut down some of the top pass rushers in this year's draft class when he faced them. And it was his speed and his kick step. He is so lightning quick in that kick step. His ability to move laterally, his ability to wait till the last second to shoot his hands out and not have him out there just for the defender to swipe his hands down and then go beat him around the edge. The dude is really far advanced for how raw he is of a football player. Now he's only played right tackle, so what's Pittsburgh going to do? Are they going to keep him at right, or are they going to move him to left? A lot of people are worried about moving him positions. What I can tell you is that we have 2 starting offensive linemen right now who played out of position last year, who were probably 2 of the best ones on the line. Mason McCormick played almost exclusively left guard in college. Troy Fautun, who played almost exclusively left tackle in college. Both of those guys are excelling at a different side of the football, but the same position. So does that mean that he will? No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean he'll be able to switch to the other side and be just fine. So what will they do? I think it probably makes sense to move Troy Fautanu to his natural spot on the left, even though he's been on the right side now as a pro, and let Max stay on the right side because that's really all he knows at this point, and he is so raw. But my God, I mean, talk about a freak athlete. He's 6'6", 321 pounds. He ran a 4.9 140.
That's insane.
That's faster than Charlie Jones.
That's a polling tackle right there. Yeah. That is a polling tackle.
It is a highly athletic man posing as an offensive tackle. He got 25 reps on the bench with pretty long arms. He's like 33 7/8, and that's how he was measured at the combine. So he might actually be longer than that because a lot of those measurements were a little short this year. So he's got the length. He's got the size. He's got the strength. He's got the athleticism. He moves really well in his kick step. His hand placement is already well advanced past what we've got with Broderick Jones. I think it's an immediate upgrade over Broderick, regardless of what his health condition is. And I am a little bit concerned for Broderick that this is a sign that his health is worse than we realize, and that report that we heard last week was true.
Yeah.
We got a little kickback from the Pittsburgh Steelers saying, oh, there's nothing new going on. Everything's fine. This makes me think everything is not fine with Broderick Jones, but I think this is an upgrade. I think this dude has potential to be an elite left tackle because he's got all the physical attributes and athleticism that some guys just don't have the benefit of having coming into the league. He's already there, and he doesn't have 10 years of bad habits that he has to break. Only habits he has is what he learned under Hines Ward, which is another reason I'm not so concerned about no pre-draft visit. Hines Ward was his coach. You tell me Hines doesn't know whether or not this is a good dude? You tell me they didn't get in contact with Hines and say, tell us about Max. Right. I guarantee they had those conversations, and that's probably part of why he didn't come in for a top 30 visit, because you just didn't need to. You're already comfortable with the prospect. I think they talked to him at the combine too, so that you did get a chance to talk to him at that point.
Some of his athleticism, James, came from the fact that he was born in Nigeria and he moved to Compton when he was 13. He didn't, like you said, he didn't play football. He grew up playing soccer.
Yeah,
those guys have to be light on their feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't find bad athletes that play soccer. That's not a thing. Soccer athletes are well-conditioned people, man, because that's all they do is run for 90 minutes, run and sprint, jog. That's it.
His base seems so firm too. When he's going up against, strong defenders, his legs, his feet positioning is so well at just a few years of playing football. That, trust me, just like Jill said, this isn't the wave your terrible towel, get excited pick necessarily, but
right.
But it is a very, very exciting pick when you process his abilities as we talk about lumps of clay later on in the draft. This is a lump of clay that's already half molded that has the ability to be like a starting piece right now. Get him coached up this offseason. I'm
Well, and that's
excited.
what I think. Like, he's got an incredibly high ceiling.
Yes.
And like our floor is pretty great too. So you put him with these O-line coaches that we have, I think he can really turn into the long-term starter that you typically draft in round 1. So I think it was not the pick that we were expecting, but a great pick nonetheless. And I know it's not the flashy, it's not the attractive. We got the player, but again, I feel like all of us fans have to realize, unless you build in the trenches, you can't have flashy wide receivers. Like, they're going to be doing half their job just trying to escape defenders if you don't have the guys in the trenches winning their battles. And so getting somebody like Max, who is strong, who has that great anchor, and then is going to be able to be coached by these O-line coaches, I think this is a fantastic pick. And with only 2 years of playing
2
football
years.
or so, I'm not so worried what side of the line he lines up on, because it's not like he has years and years and years of the same position over and over. Like, to me, people are comparing him to Broderick Jones, and it's like, yeah, you moved his position and it fell apart. Like, he just couldn't figure it out. But I'm like, this guy's still learning, essentially. So you could put him on another side, and he's still, like Cody said, like that lump of clay where you can mold him to be the mauler of the man that he is. So,
And you could argue he's played more than 2 years. I mean, technically, in 21, he's listed as East Los Angeles College. He played in 1 game. I don't consider that playing football.
Yeah.
2022, same college. He was a top 10 overall JC recruit. He played left and right tackle. But then in 2023 is where it kind of kicked off. He played in 6 games with 5 starts, 4 at right tackle, 1 at left. And then 2024, he started all 14 games at right tackle. And then obviously in 2025, he was the second team all Big 12 conference and started all 12 games at right tackle.
Yeah. And I knew he had an injury in like a leg injury in 23 or 24, and the injury got worse and he had surgery, but I don't think he missed anything last season.
We're going to find out
because of that.
No, he didn't.
Right. So that, well, because, you look at injury lists, I'm like, I don't want another like Corey Trice, where now granted this is round 1. So you're not taking, hopefully, somebody who's super injury prone, but I don't want something like that to happen where you take a gamble on a guy who's had an injury before, and then we keep getting injured. So I saw that he had an injury, but it wasn't impacting 2025 play.
So there was one that from 2024 offseason labrum surgery for shoulder stemming from a lingering 2023 issue and multiple missed games in 23 due to a left leg injury and a concussion. However, despite all those injuries, he did start in 28 consecutive games for Arizona State before sitting out in the Sun Bowl game this year, which some would argue the teamwork aspect of that, or the team first mentality. But these guys are fighting for a future. I get it.
Right.
I'm neither here nor there on that kind of thing anymore, in all honesty. So
yeah, and to be real, this, with his experience or lack therefore of playing football, he wasn't big into lifting weights until the last few years. So it was extremely important for him to have that time in the weight room to get strong enough to be able to put up 25 reps. I mean, that's an impressive amount of reps for a guy who probably has only been lifting weights for 3 or 4 years. Like, that's a lot for somebody that raw and with that long of arms. Cody, if you want something else fun to look up, the one-on-one drills for Ihanachor. I want to say he was a Senior Bowl guy, not an East-West Shrine Bowl guy. If you find those are going to be real fun for our listeners and viewers to watch here. I guess more our viewers than the listeners. But this is some stuff that really shows off how good he is in those one-on-one situations. As a pass protector, man, his pass protecting film reminds me so much of Vega Ione's pass protecting film, where just people don't get through him and they don't get around him. And he was really making these pass rushers upset because they just couldn't gain any ground on him. Like pushing them up the arc. Oh, now you're going to try and go through my chest? Not happening. Now you're going to try this way? Not happening. They're taking swings at him after the drill is over because they're so upset that they just got beat so badly. And he's just perfect stance. You're not getting past me. You're not getting through me. Like every single rep over and over. The dude just doesn't lose reps in an all-star game.
Look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah. the Senior Bowl, an all-star game of the best talent who now juniors are allowed to go to. Like, he sunk his hips. He withstood the bull rush there. Yeah, like, it's impressive tape on what this dude did. This poor Michigan kid had no luck against him at all. I don't even know who the Michigan kid is, but yeah, it wasn't a good day for him.
He's pushing him back, but he's not giving up the rush. That was a nice one. Giving your quarterback a pocket to step into on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he would have washed him right into the left guard, and he would have been on his butt, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
He's got some good tape and good film out there. And I mean, like we said, a raw lump of clay that's already half formed, that already has the things you can't teach. Yep, there he is getting into it. So
to me,
if you're watching on YouTube, we're watching these right now.
To me, where he is in his development phase right now is where we were hoping Broderick Jones would get to.
yeah.
So I know there's going to be a lot of people comparing him to Broderick Jones. I think he's already well developed past that because Broderick struggled so badly with his hand placement and his kick slide and everything, and just trying to get everything timed correctly where he's stepping at the right time and punching at the right time. This dude he must be a really good student. I bet his grades were awesome in college because it seems like he picked up on everything like right away and is doing everything he's supposed to, the way he's supposed to. So just, yeah, very, very impressive young man in my opinion. And I couldn't be more excited about the pick. Like you mentioned, though, Dylan Thieneman was on the board. Boy, did we want our Dylan Thieneman, but my buddy Mike was over. He's a Bears fan. He wasn't disappointed to end up with him.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure he wasn't.
What a steal at that point.
Yeah.
Can't believe he fell that far.
And if you guys are listening or watching, we will be going live for the Steelers draft picks. There's potential for longer live segments as we await and see if Pittsburgh makes a move or just kind of converse through who's available during those rounds and during those picks. We look forward to hanging out with you guys there. We'll be live on Facebook and YouTube. You can comment. We'll share the comments on screen. We'll discuss. We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts as well. We can't thank you guys enough for being here. Any last thoughts on this guy? Any thoughts on the second round?
I'm excited about this guy. Go ahead, Jill.
No, excited about this guy. I'm really excited about second and third round today. I wish I was in Pittsburgh to experience it live because we've got some high hopes for these rounds. So,
can't
thank you guys enough.
I'll be stunned if we don't come away from day two with a guard and a wide receiver, but I'm hoping for a safety also in that group. So,
we got 4 picks, so
it can be done. We've got 4 picks on day 2. This is unheard of. You could land 3 more starters easily.
I mean, Jeremy, let's get Jeremy.
She's just waiting for the Zakee Wheatley name.
You know what? I will be flabbergasted if they take him. Flabbergasted. So
it's there. We can't thank you guys enough for being here. Make sure to like and follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Subscribe, ring the bell. It's free. Don't forget the fact of just watching the draft with us live. 5-star reviews. Apple Podcast. We will give you a shout out. There might be some more coming from me talking to people at the draft yesterday. It's going to be a fun time. I got to give a shout out to Kevin on the next episode. We'll get there. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Peace.
Peace.